Hey Dee, I finished watching Clarkson's Farm, all the episodes.
Oh, me too. What did you think?
What did you think?
I mean, I felt like, he did that big promo on Instagram that it was gonna be a really hard couple of episodes. I just felt like it was life on the farm, other than the fact that he, had to go back into the hospital. And I'm not giving anything away because he talked about that on his Instagram. He's fine.
Right. Yeah, he's
But,
fine.
it was a cliffhanger in the episode. But now that because the world is so instant, we still knew. So,
Yeah.
what did you think?
I enjoyed it. There were some laugh
Oh,
out
yeah,
loud
yeah, yeah.
moments. But I'll tell you what, if anything convinces you it's hard to be a farmer, and they
Mhm.
have a lot of issues in the UK with being a farmer, which he points out. We have a lot of issues in the United States with being a farmer. I mean, if you delve into it, it's a very hard life.
It is
So
hard.
I'm grateful for farmers.
And if he didn't have all the money he made from Top Gear, and if he hadn't sold this series to Amazon Prime, he wouldn't make it.
No.
And that's what he flat tells you in the deal. So I really enjoyed it. I love that show, and Bill and I just get a kick out of it.
Well, they've started filming the next series, so we can
Mhm.
look forward to it next summer. In the
Season
meantime,
6.
season 6. I will get us started.
Okay, let's do it.
Welcome to the Garden Angelus, where we chat about flowers, veggies, and all the best dirt. I'm Carol Michael from Indianapolis, Indiana. I have a suburban garden measured in square feet. It's about a third of an acre.
And I'm Dee Nash from Guthrie, Oklahoma, where I still have a large garden out in the country and a small one.
We are Garden Angelus because we love gardening. We want you to love it too.
Yes, we do, and we aren't afraid to spill all of our gardening secrets, the good, the bad, and even the ugly, but let's move on to explaining why this is kind of jerky, why the angle is wrong, and why I keep looking at my phone.
Okay. So yeah, well, it's because and I'm, like, closing stuff out because we got sort of I'm, like, stopping everything from notifying me. Your MacBook died on you this morning.
Yeah, it died. I mean, the screen died. It still works, but the screen died, so you can't see anything, which means it died. So I have to buy a new computer, and so I'm doing this on my iPad, stacked on a big load of books, up against my camera, my good camera, and I'm holding it with my right hand. That's why it moves around a little bit.
And your notes are on your phone.
And my notes are on my phone because I couldn't figure out any way to do it, and we didn't wanna disappoint people, so we are here. So
We are here.
let's start with our garden updates, and if every time I laugh, it's gonna move, so I'm sorry for people on YouTube.
So, we skipped last week, and I explained all that in the newsletter. Got a lot of
Right.
nice comments from people expressing, prayers and thoughts of healing for your husband.
Mhm,
So, my 2-week update is I did a lot of weeding in the vegetable garden, like, a
mhm.
week and a half ago, and then the flower borders and all good. I potted up all my basil seedlings. They're all looking really good. I started more microgreens. I'm ready to start some more. I've mostly been avoiding rain, and I don't wanna say anything to upset our UK listeners, the few that we have, but it's been really abnormally cool around here. That's gonna
Here
change.
too, until lately. Mhm,
Yeah. I've mowed. I'm trying to mow just once a week and, because the grass is really growing well with that organic treatment that I got.
mhm.
So, I and one there was one day we got 4 inches of rain
Yeah, we got
overnight.
5. We got
Yeah.
5 2 nights ago. Mhm.
Well, this was earlier in the week. So, I'm kind of waiting for the big onslaught of summer vegetables. I'm seeing some squash that have some blossoms on them. I got a lot of little green tomatoes, so that's
Cool.
it from here. Summertime, and the living is easy.
Well, here, for those who don't know, my husband had this big surgery where they fused his spine, those that don't read the newsletter, and he's better today because he's super grouchy. I talked to him this morning, and he was mad about the food, and he was mad about everything, and in fact, he said, he goes, "You're gonna have a hard time getting to 9:30 mass today." And I said, "Who made you the church police?" Because 'Cause I'm going to 11:30 AM. So that's not a garden update, but that's a bill update. He feels better. He will go to rehab hospital for 2 weeks where they get his strength back. As far as the garden goes, done some weeding. We had 5 inches of rain and 2 inches of rain all in 1 week. Night before last, I woke up to the biggest storm I've seen in ages. It was really bad. But you know what? Everything's thriving and happy. And then it's supposed to be really hot today, 98 degrees. But our friend Leonie is over in England and she's in Kent. And she texted me some pictures and then she said it is really hot over here. And because I play that game with all of those people all over Europe, it's hot all over Europe.
Oh, it is.
I mean, Europe is hot.
Yeah, and, it's been all over Instagram and news reports and stuff. They simply don't have air conditioning.
They don't have air conditioning and they're all trying to stay cool, and I feel sorry for them. Let's see. And then basically here, I'm just trying to keep everything watered because it's been pretty hot the last couple of days, last 3. And so I'm getting I have everything on drip, but I'm getting an idea of which ones need to be watered twice a day because I've got a couple of them in terracotta. So that's my garden update, just keeping things alive. At the old house, I did some weeding. I cleaned up the sidewalk. I did some things like that. I'm probably have to go do that again. So somebody come buy that house. It's a beautiful house. Come buy it.
Yeah, it's on sale. For
Everyone
sale.
pray. Everyone pray that it sells quickly because
Yeah.
I'm tired of messing with it.
Alrighty. Well, and you had on your update, you wanna keep everything watered,
Mhm.
but you also talked about 2 inches rain and 5 inches rain, and you're talking about, like me, the containers that are under cover. You can't
Yeah.
forget to water those.
Right, because they don't get any water.
They don't get vicarious rain.
No, they don't. So let's play favorites.
Okay. So, a lot of choices. I got beautiful yellow petunias hanging in baskets outside this window. Out by the mailbox, I've left the violas that I'd planted, and they're still thriving. Now, they'll be done this week. It's gonna get hot.
Mm.
But I'm gonna give a shout out to the big tall lilies, and I don't know the names of all of them, but they're all blooming. They've all stood up during the storms and everything, and it's just like they are spectacular. They don't bloom all summer, but the few weeks when they're in full bloom, they're just like catch your eye.
They're just a presence. They're really
I put
pretty.
put some pictures on Instagram and I put some pictures on Substack, so we'll link to those and people can have a look see, and I'll put one picture in the newsletter.
Okay, cool. I wrote down something different, but I'm gonna actually give it up for Calibrachoa lemon slice. It's a proven winners variety. It is yellow and white, kind of bicolor, and they're stripes. Anyway, I planted those. They were past their due. Okay, first of all, Calibrachoa in Oklahoma in pots doesn't last all summer usually. Lemon slice is one of those that's just super heat tolerant. So I bought it when it was a little bit leggy, cut it back, put it in the pots with what is the name of that plant? It's not scavola, it's the other one, blue days. I put it in the pots with blue days and then I have a rose in there.
So what is Blue Days?
Blue days is it's got a really long name. I can't think of it right now because I'm holding my iPad and I'm trying to think. I can't do it.
Okay.
Scavola is wandflower, it's the other one. I can't remember. Anyway, so I'll take a picture of both of them. I'll give you the information.
Okay.
Anyway, that Calibrachoa looks great because that blue is really, really blue, and the name is swimming around in my head. And so all of our listeners are now going, it's blah, blah, blah." Anyway, it's really beautiful. The pot's really beautiful. I looked at it this morning. Accidentally set my alarm off this morning when I went outside to go put water in the fountain.
I've done that.
My husband was like, "Somebody set off the alarm." I said, "You know darn well who it was because you can see me on the cameras." Anyway, that I have to give that a shout out because it'll probably last all summer if I keep cutting it back and fertilizing it.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, let's move on because my arm's tired. All right, question of the week.
How do you keep you can yeah. How do you keep Bermuda grass out of your garden beds? I have an answer.
And I like what your answer was. Go ahead.
I would say move to a colder climate because Bermuda grass is only hardy to zone 7. But I did when I looked that up, I did see there's a variety called Princess 77 that's said to grow in zone 6. My advice to our listeners is
No, don't
no,
plant it.
no, no. Listen to the problems that Dee has with Bermuda grass. And yeah,
So Bermuda grass is the standard grass that's used throughout much of Oklahoma for lawns, and my lawn is no different. And this question I get more than any other question, period. And it's also the top rated, it and the one about landscape fabric. Those are my two top rated videos on Instagram, which shows that everybody has these problems. So, first of all, barrier. I think if you have a barrier, a really good wide barrier, like a sidewalk next to your garden beds, you're going to have a lot less Bermuda grass. You'll still have crabgrass, but not Bermuda grass as much. If you, like my bed in the front has a wall and it's raised, but you can still get Bermuda grass in it. So my landscape guy who helps out my husband because my husband can't mow anymore, they weed eat really close to that wall and there's like the Bermuda never really gets a chance to take off. So that's another tip. If you have to get rid of it, you're going to have to spray it and then you have to pull it because some people think that you can just spray it and then pull it, not pull it, and it'll just go away. No, it has roots 6 inches down into the soil, maybe 12. And everywhere a little root breaks off, more Bermuda grass grows. So that's not how it works. So if you decide you want to spray it, you want to weed eat it down to the nubbins and then spray the nubbins. And I'm not gonna tell you which spray to use because there's a bunch of different ones out there. Talk to somebody who knows about chemicals. But that's how they make new landscape beds, and then you dig it out because it won't die. It won't die. So, Bermuda grass is hard, it's impossible to get rid of. It loves your garden beds because it has really soft soil that has good compost in it.
Oh gosh. And then you're
Yeah.
thinking, "Oh, well, you guys we have around here, our lawns are bluegrass and
Mhm.
fescue, and those would not do well because they would dry out in the summertime for you guys."
Yeah, you can grow bluegrass I mean, not bluegrass, you can grow fescue in the shade,
Yes.
and you have to mow it higher, and it has to have lots of water, you have to have an irrigation system. I forgot to mention cobra head. Cobra head is the best weeder for digging Bermuda grass out of the ground, in my opinion. I also like a Dutch hand hoe, but I'm telling you, cobra head is the one, and yes, we have an affiliate with cobra head, but I'm just saying that because it's true.
Yeah. Okay. Insect of the week, and so I guess this is our annual time to talk about Japanese beetles. Have you seen
You
any?
go for it, I don't even wanna discuss them, I hate them.
I haven't seen any yet, but that probably means I've really not been looking for them, but I have a large
Right,
canna out in the vegetable garden that I bought from a little girl raising money to go to church camp. I
right.
haven't seen them on that, and usually they would be all over a canna, so that's kinda my indicator plant, but I have not yet seen them.
But you guys have been dry,
No,
so
we
and they
have
don't
not
like
been
dry soil.
dry.
Oh, you've not been dry? Okay, so were you dry last summer?
Yes, if you're that's the thing. If you're dry when they're laying their eggs in the ground, they have a hard
Mhm, ground
trouble
is tough.
laying their eggs, and so you'll have fewer of
Mm.
them. So after the drought year of 2012, we didn't have very many for quite some time, but they're making a valiant return. So
Yeah, we're never gonna get rid of them. So let's talk about how to control
so
them.
I put on the first one was ignore them, which is they'll go away eventually. They'll leave some things decimated, and that might be okay. As
Yeah.
mentioned, don't overwater your lawn when it's a period of time when they're laying their eggs, and that's probably and then well, any time now. And I'm a big advocate of don't overwater your lawn through the summer. It's especially when it's hot. The if you have a healthy lawn, it should be able to withstand short periods of no rain.
Mm.
Then, of course, the hand pick or tapping the leaf where they're on, and then having a bucket of soapy water underneath, and they'll fall into that and they can't get out.
And you have to do that in the morning before it gets really warm because then they'll fly away. And honestly, you wanna catch them when they're fornicating.
Yes, yes,
I mean, it's just
it's
the
very
truth. That's
satisfying.
it is satisfying. Just capture them in the moment because they can't lay any eggs, can
No.
they?
You can also set up these pheromone traps. I have not s
Don't do it.
well, I was just gonna say the
Don't do
same
it.
thing.
Mm-mm.
The pheromone traps are to be set up in your neighbor's yard because the word on the street is that if you set those up, you're attracting them all to your garden. They're feasting before they
Mm.
go over to that pheromone trap, and that is and I've done
Mhm.
that, like, it has to be 30 years ago at my other house because that's I've been here 29. And
Mhm.
that is the nastiest smelling bag of ugh,
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah, it's nasty.
And then
So you put down BT on the lawn, Bacillus
to
thuringiensis.
kill the grubs.
Yes. Do people still use milky spore disease too to prevent them? I can't
They
remember.
might. They might.
I mean, the truth is you really it's really hard to kill that many grubs, number 1. Grubs have to eat a little bit before BT kills them because it's a disease, it's not an insecticide. And you just need to knock them into soapy water if they're really bothering you, because they do get on roses, and they will decimate your roses, but that's a perfect one thing I have noticed, and CL Forneri said this in her on her radio show one time, and she's absolutely right. They go to the same places in the garden every year.
Yes.
They don't seem to spread out through the whole garden, which is really good because Lord knows we don't want that. So go to those places in the garden and deal with them.
Right, and if you see some bare patches in your lawn and you think, "Oh, I have grubs," you need to dig on the edge of that patch where you still have some green because they keep moving to the new growth
Yeah.
to see if you have grubs, kinda count how many grubs, look at the damage before you call a lawn care company. They will want to put some nasty chemical down, and I just think that's you're gonna kill off your lightning bugs and stuff too. So,
Okay, let's move on. Do the quote.
not every flower belongs in every garden. Lee Bardugo from Ninth House. You found these quotes. That's a good one. Yeah.
Thank you. So we decided to talk about touchable plants, and we're talking about touchable flowers, which I love this topic.
Well, we're talking really about sensory gardens in a way, because last
Yeah.
2 weeks ago we talked about sound in the garden. So the
Mhm.
sense of touch. We
Mhm.
both thought of lamb's ear, very soft, very touchable.
Always a good one to put by the sidewalk for little kids to touch
Yes.
because they love
And
it.
then
A friend of
do you
uh
cut off the flower stalks?
I
I do.
do because I don't
Yeah,
like
they
them.
just flop all
Yeah.
over.
And I like Helen von Stein. I think that's the best one. It's got the biggest leaves, and it doesn't produce as many
And
flowers.
so I don't have a variety. I just have one that's a pass along plant. I'm not even sure where I initially got it.
I don't have any at all right
I've passed
now.
it along to my I gave her a big bunch of it this spring. Lavender is touchable.
It is touchable. It basically engages most senses.
Yes.
It's beautiful, untouchable. I like that one particular lavender.
Phenomenal.
Sorry. Phenomenal, thank you. But I like some others too. I have better luck with phenomenal than some of the others.
We put down rose campion. I had that at one time, but
Mhm.
it has disappeared because it was
What it's a biennial, isn't
yeah,
it?
and it was also kind of spreading itself a little bit too yeah.
Much.
So,
I want to point out something here. All of these that we've mentioned so far and the next one are silvery leafed plants. And silvery leaf plants are not only drought tolerant, but they have little hairs on them. And those little hairs are part of what makes them soft and touchable.
yes, and we put Verbena bonariensis, and I'm gonna turn and look at my window. I think because that sticks up that little purple flower, I mean, the little purple flower is you wanna tap it. I don't know.
Yeah, you wanna touch it. And then I also thought about grasses, and they flower.
Yes,
They have inflorescences, and there are several grasses, including purple fountain grass and the one that's called fireworks that's a purple fountain grass. Those are very touchable. They feel good
yes.
as you walk
Now
down
I
the
I
aisle.
do wanna say, you wanna be careful just running your hand across ornamental grasses.
'Cause they'll
They'll
hurt
have
you.
sharp edges, and you could end up with
Uh-huh.
little, like, paper cuts, grass cuts.
Yeah, you could, so don't do that. Just put your hand kinda gently as you go by. And pink muhly grass is that way too.
Yes.
It's very touchable and very
And then the other
beautiful.
one with silvery gray leaves is borage, and remember 2 weeks ago I said I didn't see any coming up?
You found
I
some, didn't you?
did. It's over by the compost pile. It came up on the side of the compost pile. I'm like, "There you are."
There you
So I thought,
are.
"I'm gonna let you flower. I'm gonna try to collect the seeds and then relocate some seeds to the other side of the garden and try to get them to
Sure.
return back over there too."
So those are all ones we think of. Some things you should not touch. Poison ivy would be one of the big
Leaves of
ones.
3, let it be.
Yeah, stay away from them because it's gotten bad in some places. And then plants with thorns and stickers. But roses actually have prickles. They call them thorns, but they're prickles. And yeah, you should touch the blossoms, but not the stems if you can help it.
Right. Exactly. And so my friends make fun of me because they say, "You touch all these plants, like, when you're going through places, you're always, like, reaching out and touching plants."
I do
And they
too.
said so we said for gardeners, every plant is touchable unless it's like poison ivy, poison oak,
Mhm.
poison sumac, things
I also like the papyruses, like king tut. queen tut,
Yeah.
prince tut, baby tut. Those are very touchable too. Oh, and in my pots, I have a Swedish ivy, and I just did a video about my pots, and Swedish ivy is very touchable also. It also has little hairs on it,
Some
and it's
varieties
beautiful. Well,
is
true. Guacamole is my favorite.
okay. And so
It's beautiful.
we kind of expanded on this because we're kind of done with this topic and it kind of ties into our book here in a minute. But
Yeah.
we talked about plants for scent, and the list is endless for plants for scent. So we won't go through sweet peas, lavender, roses, even some of those big tall lilies that smell beautiful right now.
Mhm.
Um, but you really want a garden to engage all your senses: sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste.
Yep.
And you should spend time in your own garden and see, what am I seeing? What am I hearing? What am I touching? What am I smelling? And if you have a vegetable garden, what am I tasting? And
Yeah.
if you don't have enough of one or the other, you can adjust accordingly. And we're going to link to an article called How to Design a Healing Garden, because they
Mhm.
talked about how a garden is really a place of healing. Again, this is going to touch into our book topic. And yeah, we'll let people read that article and go from there. And that's what we wanted to talk about with flowers today. You got anything to add, Dee?
I don't. I don't have anything
You want
else
me
to
to pause
add.
the video so you can rest your arm?
No, I'm good. Let's keep
Okay, do the
going.
quote.
I'll do that quote. One of the most important resources that a garden makes available for use is the gardener's own body. A garden gives the body the dignity of working in its own support. It is a way of rejoining the human race. Wendell Berry. Man, that's a good
That
quote.
is.
Wendell Berry is
He's a
priceless.
national
He's a
treasure.
treasure. He is a national treasure. He's a human
And there's
treasure.
people that really have never heard of Windowberry.
I don't know that I had heard of him extensively until I started reading his books.
Yeah.
I love
And I don't
him.
think I saw a documentary on Netflix talking about,
Yeah, I did too. It's
and he'll
good.
tell you what the problems with the farm are. He'll give you.
He knows because he has a
Right.
farm. He is a
Right.
farmer first and foremost, but he's also a writer. He's a farm well, okay, I should put it this way. He sorry, my phone's doing something weird. Oh, and then it went all the way back up to the top of the thing. He started out as a writer, and he was really celebrated, and they had big ideas for him up in New York, and he went back to the
Yeah, he
farm.
went back to his family farm, and he's very much an advocate for the smaller family farm with a diversity of crops and animals. And
Yeah.
he and Joel Salatin will both, from their own viewpoints, explain to you why that is all good. So, but
Mhm.
we'll go talk about why the vegetable garden is also a wellness garden and how to make your vegetable garden a wellness garden. Now, you don't have any vegetables this year?
Not this year, I just can't cope with it,
Yes. And that
too.
would be the first thing is, don't let it get to be too big or overwhelming. I mean, you could have moved in, you could have scoped a spot in your backyard, you could have got somebody in there to.
Filled that baby up,
Yes,
yeah.
but don't
Yeah,
be in a
yeah,
big
my
rush.
30-year-old self would have done
Yeah,
that, but
no,
no. And that's one of the things I tell my garden coaching clients, especially the young ones who want everything. I'm like, "No, you need to start small. You really need to start small because you learn as you go."
right.
And I think, growing things in pots is a great idea, so don't let it get too big and overwhelming. There's a lot of things you can grow in simple raised beds and a lot of things you can grow in pots. And Vago Gardens and the other brands, which are all copies of each other, they're all just big
They're
containers.
just big
That's what they
containers.
are.
And you mentioned also plant easy to grow crops that are suited to your environment. So for me,
Yeah, I don't grow cauliflower.
I don't grow cauliflower or cabbage or
No,
broccoli simply because the cabbage
it's hard,
moths and butterflies would just be all over them. I don't try to grow
mhm,
watermelon because I don't have a long enough growing season,
right?
and I can get by with okra.
I grow okra. I do really well with the summer things. Tomatoes, green beans, squash, okra. Squash bugs are a huge problem, but, you know, it's okay. Melons, I can grow a great
Melons
melon
are not great
or
for
2.
me, but
Well, because you don't have enough sunlight for long enough. All right, and then you put down don't use pesticides, which I agree with. I sorry, and I'm sorry for anybody who's trying to watch this. God love you. pesticides are not good for us, and why would you grow things with pesticides when you can just get that at the store?
Exactly. And which raises a good point. When you go to the next point is if you can't manage a big garden or whatever, you can still get fresh produce, like you said. You can go to the farmer's market.
Mhm, I
You can
do.
join a community-supported agriculture, a CSA, where they will deliver.
I did that too. Yeah, it was awesome.
But ask them about how they grow. What pesticides do you use? Because
Mhm.
I still remember when my mom was in a nursing home, one of the nurses aide came in and she had a big bag of extra tomatoes, and she said, "Do you want these?" Well, I knew from what she had said before that her method of gardening was as soon as the plant starts to grow, she just dumps 7 dust on it as a precaution.
That's what everybody did during
Yeah,
that
during,
time
like, the
period.
70s, 60s, and 70s,
Ugh.
my dad always dusted everything with 7 dust just to keep the bugs, and it's like, "Oh, we don't need that. We do not need
Mhm.
that." So,
Well, and overuse of it made it less effective too.
yes. Yes, as bugs gain resistance to it. So and,
Mhm.
my vegetable garden's been out there. It's in its I guess, its 2nd iteration, and it's had these beds for 15 years, and I just had them kind of, like, adjusted and new paths put down and stuff, and so it's getting easier, and like I said, there's things that it's like, I've spent too much time weeding that flower border. I'm gonna dump a bunch of perennials in here. So but I've been doing it for so long, I don't have to think about it. I just know what to do.
I do
And so
too,
that's where
at this
don't get
point.
frustrated when you're brand new and you don't really know what to do. So you'll learn.
That's another good reason to start small.
Yes. Yes. And then
Okay, so I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, that's my final
Are we
thought. I think
finished?
we're done.
Okay, let's go to Carol's quote.
A book is a garden, an orchard, a storehouse, a party, a company by the way, a counselor, a multitude of counselors. Charles Baudelaire.
But no, it's Baudelaire.
Baudelaire. I don't know who Charles
Mhm.
Baudelaire is.
Very famous writer.
What do you write, Dee?
Okay. He wrote a bunch of books, I think in the
Okay.
1900s. So or maybe the 19th century, that may be what I
Okay.
mean. But I've seen his books before. It's like stuff they ask you to read in
Yes.
college.
Okay. Here on the bookshelf we have Good Nature, Why Seeing, Smelling, Hearing, and Touching Plants is Good for Our Health. And that is by Kathy Willis. And I told you about this book, Dee.
Yeah, and I started listening to it, and it is so deep.
It's very deep.
Oh my
And
gosh.
Catherine Willis, she started out life as a
Botanist,
paleo
right?
ecologist. Paleo
Yeah, so
ecologist.
she studies plants in their skeletal form.
Yeah, from way, way back. And then she ended up at Kew Gardens as some kind of a
Mhm.
director. I don't have the exact. It's probably back here. Prof
It doesn't
Well, she's
matter.
the professor of biodiversity in the Department of Biology and the principal of St. Edmund Hall, University of Oxford.
Yeah, okay.
She also wrote another book called Botanicum, and it got an award. And if you'll just hang on and talk for a minute about the book, I'm gonna go get that other book, Botanicum.
Oh, good. She's letting me loose while she goes and gets this other book. Okay, so here's the deal. This book, I started listening to it as I drive back and forth to town, and it's deep, and I can only take it in small doses. And I think it's amazing and wonderful, but again, I could only do it in small doses. I got mine from the library and I downloaded it onto Hoopla so that I could listen to it for free and it was very good. All right, now, what about
So
Botanicum?
this is the other book, and I thought, "Well, I'm gonna get this out of the library." And so I did. Look, this is an
Oh, more.
enormously beautifully illustrated book, and we'll put a link to
That's
this one as
beautiful.
well. But what it is, it's kind of for older children, I would say, and they have,
Neat.
here's a chapter on ginkgo, and then they've got information over here.
Neat.
So if you have a child that's interested in gardening and would like to find out more,
Mhm.
here's vines and creepers. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
That is beautiful.
That is quite the book.
Yeah, it's
It's
huge. That book is huge for those people not watching, and, like, it's bigger than a coffee table book.
I should get out a ruler and measure it, but I've enjoyed looking through it. I'm gonna take it back to the library.
So the whole premise about the other book is that we take for granted the idea that nature makes us feel better, and then she delves into the science
Oh,
of it.
yes. And I
And it
yes.
yeah,
I listened to the whole
um,
thing, and now I have the book. I wanted to go back through the book and just kinda highlight some things that I remember from listening to it.
mhm, it was very good, and she's a good reader.
Yeah. Did she do her own audit? Did she do her own narration?
Yes, she did. Uh-huh, she did.
And there's some pictures in the book that you don't get in the audio, obviously.
Yeah,
So, anyway, I liked it. I'm glad I found it at Half Price Books, and I thought, "You know what? I need that."
I'm glad you found it.
So, anyway,
It's a
there
good
it is.
book,
It
good
is.
nature.
Good Nature: Why Seeing, Smelling, Hearing, and Touching Plants is Good for Our Health by Kathy Willis. We'll put links to all of that.
I'm gonna do the next quote.
You do that.
She was sitting in a garden more beautiful than even her rampaging imagination could have ever conjured up, and she was being serenaded by trees. And that's by Lynn Kurland from the book Spellweaver.
Nice. So the dirt.
I went to Goodreads. That's where I got all these
Okay.
quotes.
I switched out our dirt from what we were gonna talk about.
Fine by me. I could care less. But go
What?
ahead.
Don't tell our listeners that.
I don't care
Anyway,
about which dirt you choose. You always choose so well, Carol.
thank you. Okay,
You're
so the
welcome.
dirt we had did not really fit in with the topic, so I wanted to say that we both started following Adeline's Plant Rescue on Instagram for a
Precious.
daily dose of cuteness. So this little girl, how old do you think she is? 6, 7,
I
8?
think she's 8 or 10. Uh-huh.
She likes to go to, like, Tractor Supply or Ace Hardware or Lowe's,
Yeah, box stores,
and she likes to find the nearly dead plants on the clearance shelves, and
and
then
then she rescues
she
them.
rescues them, she takes them home, and then she cleans them up, and then she tries to get them to grow again. Obviously, with help from her parents, they're doing
But she knows a lot
Oh,
about
she
plants.
does know a lot about
She
plants.
cracks me up because she's like, "Well, should we do this salvia?" And then she goes underneath all the dead part and she puts her little finger on the green thing and she says, "There, it's alive." And that's the stem. I mean, there's just stuff she knows that I'm
Yes,
like, "How does she know all
but
this?"
there's follow-up. I mean, the plants they're making a comeback.
Yeah, they are. Because if you take them home and you're good to them, a lot of times you can save them.
Yeah. And, well, she puts them under, like, plastic so they can stay moist, and she does different things to them, and anyway, a daily dose of cuteness, I call it.
She's precious. We'll link to her in our show notes and stuff.
Alright. Gardens Are a Form of Autobiography, and that is by Sydney Edison, Gardening for a Lifetime: How to Garden Wiser as You Grow Older. We both love Sydney's books.
I
That's
do.
a very good quote.
Sydney is a very nice person too. I wrote her way back and she wrote me back and we had a nice
That's
conversation on email.
nice.
Yeah, she's really nice.
Yeah. Not as nice as
Smart
getting your book signed by her, when you heard her speak, but
smart Aleck.
Huh? What'd you say?
Smart Aleck. Smart Aleck.
Rabbit holes.
I don't I don't even have time for a rabbit hole. I'm too tired.
Okay. Well, I did wanna this came up when we were recording 2 weeks ago that sometimes books are only published in the UK,
A
and
lot of times.
then it's like
The ones we like.
it's hard to get them,
Yeah,
but
it is.
there's a shop called Blackwell's, I think it's in Oxford,
Mhm.
and they have books that are only published in the UK. They have all kinds of books, but the ones that are only published in the UK, I buy from them, and they
Uh-huh.
ship them for free. There's no shipping, and
That's
I
amazing.
think they have a warehouse somewhere in the United States where they keep these books.
They must. They must because they get to you fairly fast. It's not Royal Mail.
No, it's not Royal Mail. They're coming from, I think, maybe a place in New York. They're not super fast. It'll take a week or so. I mean, it takes
Right.
the amount of time that the mailman spends sending stuff to you. But anyway, so I did want to tell people about Blackwell's because they like, how do you get books from the UK?
When you can't go. Okay, and then you did another Lost Lady of Garden Writing.
Caroline Dorman. Have you heard of her?
I have, yeah, because Elizabeth Lawrence used to write about her sometimes.
Yes. Well, Carolyn Dorman was a force in her own right. She didn't need Elizabeth
Yeah,
Lawrence writing it about her. If you are in Louisiana, you have surely heard of her.
uh,
And I did a deep dive, and basically, I found people that knew a lot about her, and I linked to them. There's a real nice it's a podcast episode from, like, 2014 where the
uh-huh,
woman who wrote her biography it's a two-parter where she talks about her, and that was
uh-huh,
very interesting, and Briarwood Nature Preserve is her original home,
okay.
and it's now open to the public, and I heard that there's a young curator there. Can't think of her name right off, but I heard her speak once online.
Cool,
So, anyway, Carolyn Dorman, friend of Elizabeth Lawrence, also the first woman ever employed by the U.S. Forestry Service.
cool. So, then you said Clarkson's Farm was a bit of a rabbit hole. I would say for me too. Made me go look up some things, and then once the Instagram knows that you have watched it because you've talked about it like we are today, it will serve up all kinds of stuff, you know?
Yes.
I'll also say I've got one more thing. I'm gonna go back to Bulgaria for a minute. There is the area where they grow the roses in this valley, which is very famous. The roses are basically finished. They've now harvested them. So now that another area in that same part of the valley has lavender.
Nice.
Oh, it's pretty. Lavender and I think poppies. And that what made me think of that is because once you talk about anything, Instagram serves it up over and over and over again. So there you go.
There you go.
I also have a new recipe for zucchini, which I'll try next week. Ooh,
I
sorry.
might need that recipe because there's quite a few zucchinis forming out there, and I thought, I need to keep an eye on those.
My friend, he gave me his recipe.
Cool.
So, yeah. Okay, let's go.
A garden to visit, and we picked Kew Gardens because we think Kathy
I've been
Willis
there.
yeah, and you've been there? Tell us about it, Dee.
I mean, it's extraordinary and it's really close to London. I mean, it's part of London or right outside London. And you take the train out there and it's known for its glass houses. When I visited, the glass houses were all closed except for the one house that was temperate climate. But the thing I liked about Kew Gardens the best, other than where you go get tea,
Mm.
because all of those big British gardens have a little tea room, which has fabulous food. But what I loved was there's a walk through the forest, a tree walk, and it's raised up right where the leaves, where the tops of the trees are, or middle part of the canopy, and it is extraordinary, and I loved that part.
And when I think of Kew Gardens, obviously I've never been, I always think about the herbarium
Yeah, the
that,
herbarium.
it's a place of great research. And I thought I saw there was a collaboration with Kew Gardens, Missouri Botanical Garden, and one other place as far as nomenclature and, taxonomy and plant names and stuff. So
Somebody they just did a big piece on Kew Gardens on Gardener's World, and they went into the herbarium and all of the rare plants they have, some of which are like 1, they have 1 or 2, and they figured out how to replicate them, and they talked to a couple of the scientists. That was a really good little segment.
I'll
I'll
have to go look at I've fallen off the wagon in terms of watching Gardener's World.
I have a few I've got to go back and look at a few
I
myself.
think I
I've been
will
a little busy.
it's gonna be so hot this week. Let's talk about our garden commissions.
You know what? We could watch Gardener's World because it's gonna be so hot
It's
this
gonna
week.
be so hot. So the goal this week is to stay cool, do any gardening early in the morning, like get up at 6 o'clock in the morning because it's gonna get in the 90s every day.
Mhm.
We should mention it's the semi-quincentennial celebration this weekend. Big plans, D?
Well, my husband's in the hospital,
So
so
no big plans.
not really. I mean, I'll go out and watch the fireworks. People are already putting on lots of fireworks
Yes,
and,
I've been hearing them.
um
I saw a thing on I sent you a news clip I saw where somebody like a truck stand or I don't know what caught on fire, but it was full of fireworks and those things were just going like
going
crazy.
everywhere. Yeah.
I was like a trailer or something on the highway and anyway.
Instagram also served me up a video in Bulgaria where they take what they think are our foods for the 4th of July. I'll see if I can find that because that was funny. I mean, like, they had hot dogs, but they were, like, weird and preserved. Like, everything was preserved in plastic,
Yeah,
and
no.
actually my friend sent it to me, and I laughed and laughed and laughed, and then there's another cool video out there that I sent back, which is how all of the Europeans came for FIFA, and they were amazed at how nice we are, and amazed at how much fun it is, and amazed at Walmart. Walmart!
Well, and the Buc-ee's truck stops, which I've never been to a Buc-ee's, but
Been once, that was enough.
yeah, and Costco and anyway, so I'm
Anyway, it was just so I mean, Instagram has been hilarious with all of the stuff for the 4th of July because of the bite. How
yeah,
do you say that? The
semi-quincentennial.
the semi-quincentennial. You and I have lived through the bicentennial and the semi-quincentennial now.
Yes, and I was gonna say the other thing my food for the semi-quincentennial, it's gotta be a potato salad, baked beans, maybe some kind of barbecued chicken or ch
Corn on the cob?
corn on the cob, definitely corn on the
Cherry
cob,
pie?
not cherry pie.
I love cherry pie. I used to make it for Bill all the time. I don't know what I'll eat. I don't know what I'll do for the semi
I don't have big plans, it's on a
maybe go to the
s
parade. I might go to the parade with my best friend.
yeah, there was a parade in the town I grew up in south of here last night. I think they skirted around. We just had one rain shower come through, and my great niece was marching in the parade. But the other thing I was gonna say about the coming weekend is there will be fireworks like nobody's business.
Oh, it's already started out here,
Oh, yeah.
just like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people are really excited about it. Okay, well, happy say it again.
Semi-quincentennial.
Yeah, happy that for
Okay.
everybody. Happy 4th of July.
All right, I'm gonna wrap us up. Thank you for listening to The Garden Angelist. We publish every week on Wednesdays at 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Be sure and follow us on Apple Podcasts. That helps us get noticed by others.
If you subscribe to our Substack newsletter, you'll get a link to listen to the podcast a whole day early and links to products we discuss. Plus, go over to YouTube and see us in person. Again, I apologize for this week. I will have a computer by next week. New episodes show up on Tuesdays, so if you can't wait until Wednesday, you now have 2 ways to get episodes on Tuesdays.
And if you want to help support us, use our affiliate links. If you buy something after clicking through them, we earn a small commission and it costs you nothing.
Or you can set up a monthly subscription through Buzzsprout or make a one-time donation through PayPal. You also have the option of pledging your support on Substack.
And we want to thank everyone who has done so. It does help us pay for podcast hosting.
It was lovely to chat with all of you over the garden gate this week. Bye until next week.
Bye, everybody.